Hey guys, in today's video we're going to go over how to set up a unique email address in Microsoft Outlook as well as your hosting provider. I'm not going to go into multiple hosting providers, but I'm going to use HostGator, which is a popular one. But if you use SiteGround or Bluehost or GoDaddy, it's pretty much the same thing when setting it up in Outlook. Pretty much we set it up with SMTP and so on, but let's get into it.
Audio Jungle.
So the first thing you want to do here is come over to Microsoft Outlook, open Outlook, and what you want to do is come over to Tools, and where you see Accounts, click on Accounts, and let's just move this over here. And at the bottom left here, what you want to do is click on the New Account. And this window comes up. So you know what, let's just create, now let's go over to my HostGator account. If you don't have a HostGator account, I'll leave a link below, or a Bluehost link. I pay maybe, I think, $3.95 a month. There's a lot of other plans, but I like to stick with the big hosts like GoDaddy, Bluehost, HostGator, there's HostPapa. So there's a bunch of them that are out there. But this tutorial in this video is going to help you go through getting that unique email address. Instead of just a Gmail address, it'll be your name at yourdomain.com. So we're going to set this up from scratch. So this is going to be a lengthy video. So let's go over to HostGator. This is one of my lead gen sites here. So let's go over to HostGator. So when you log into your HostGator account, you want to come up to your cPanel. So HostGator is going to send you your cPanel information, and once you get into your cPanel information, which is your control panel, you want to go over to email. Now what you want to do is come over here to email accounts, and we're just going to call this test, and that's the domain. So it's going to be test@hardwoodflooringmarkham.com. Let's just put in a password. Let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now we can select the size of the mailbox that you want. If you're using it for one of your employees, you might want to limit it so they don't use a lot of your space. But the first thing to do is check with your hosting provider. Make sure that the cap space is okay in terms of bandwidth. Some email hosting providers might only allow you a certain amount of megabits, right, in space for your email. So for this example, what we're going to do is just create unlimited. And now what we're going to do is just click on create. So now it'll confirm account created, test@hardwoodflooringmarkham.com. So, and our password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, and now over here, let's just, we can search for email, test. So here we have it, test@hardwoodflooringmarkham.com. Now what you want to do, HostGator and your other providers like GoDaddy will have some instructions. So let's just right click and open this in a new tab. Let's come over here. And it gives you the information for setting up in Outlook. So over here, we're going to be running Microsoft Outlook. And what I like to do with manual settings, I come over here and I look at either non-secure or non-SSL or secure. So for this example, we're not going to do secure SSL. We're just going to do the non. I do this sometimes, but you can follow these instructions for IMAP port 143. For POP3 port 1110, this is your incoming email. So emails, like on your email server, when email comes in, this is going to be doing a test on port 1110, which is POP3. And anything outgoing is SMTP. And I think that stands for Simple Mail transport protocol. So let's go over back to Microsoft Outlook, and we're going to name test at, I should have copied this. Click on continue. Now, what it's going to ask you is, are you running Microsoft Exchange? If you're not, which most of us aren't, you could click on Not Exchange. Now what we're going to be doing is selecting the IMAP and the POP icon. If you had Yahoo or Google, you can select Google or Yahoo. I'll run another video on that if you want, but most people will run either Gmail into Outlook or Yahoo, or a POP account. So you can use these IMAP settings over here. But for this example, what we're going to do is just leave it at POP. So the password was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I might have missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1. So your incoming server. In your incoming server, it's right here. So you just copy this. And make sure that your port for POP3 is set to 1110. And if you do get an error message for your POP3, what you want to do is check with HostGator or your hosting company for an alternative POP3 port number or an alternative SMTP outgoing. And sometimes they have that outgoing because a lot of these hosting providers or email providers, they don't like using the standard 1110 or port 25. So they give an alternative one because those ports are usually spammed and they're not as secure. So let's continue on with this. Let's go to outgoing. We're going to copy the outgoing mail address, paste, and the outgoing is 25. So everything looks good. Let's show the password, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and let's click Add Account. Unable to sign in, check your credentials. So test at hardwoodflooringmarkham.com. So incoming was 1110, port 25, mail.hardwoodflooringmarkham.com. Oh, here's a good example. Because we are using non-SSL, non-secure, so we have to uncheck this and then click Add Account. There you go. So we got the green check mark box, and let's click Done. Now what we can do to test this, let's go over to Accounts. Come over here. And we have the test here. So now what we can do is click on Advanced. Now here are some settings that I like to set. I don't like the emails being deleted. So within Outlook, let's say you delete something here. If you delete here on mistake, all your emails will be stored on your hosting provider. So what I like to do is leave a copy of each message on the server. So now delete copies from the server after deleting from this computer. I say never. This is very important. Send and receive every 10 minutes. This doesn't really matter because you can just press send and receive anytime you want. And then the next part here, security, let's ignore. And let's click OK. Now let's go to advanced, or more options, sorry. More options, you want to make sure that the authentication is using the incoming server info. And click OK. And that is it. So now what we can do, you could either set that as default, highlight, set as default, and now let's just send a test mail from one of my other accounts to this. Let's go back to home. Let's click on new email. Let's go to my email here. So we're sending it from Hardwood Flooring Markham, and let's send it to my marketing, idimarketing.com. Testing. Tests. Click send. And this is where you can just auto push the send and receive. So let's just send and receive. All right, we're going to set up things again here. POP3 didn't work, so this was a good test. Maybe IMAP is going to be working. So let's go to new account. And underneath new account, let's go to test. Put that in. We are not using Exchange. We're going to use IMAP this time. So IMAP, email address, the username, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the settings for HostGator was IMAP 143 for the incoming. The incoming server and the outgoing server is port 25. So let's do that. Show the password, 143, and let's add account. Oh, sorry. Perfect. Now let's click on done. Now let's just close this and reopen it again. And there you go. So we got an email back, and let's just reply back. And click on testing. And what you can do is, if you come over here, you'll actually see possibly something in your outbox that is failing. So right now, connection to the server has failed or dropped. So that is telling us that the outbound email is not working. So what you want to do is go back into Tools, Accounts, and you want to come over to the account that you created. And for some reason, this had SSL connected. So we were using 587. I don't think we were supposed to use 587. It's port 25. So let's go back to port 25 here. Don't use SSL. And all right, guys, good. So that worked. It went from our outbox into our inbox. So that is how you set up Microsoft Outlook with your own unique domain, and you can rinse and repeat this many times as long as you have that domain hosting for your from your name registration. So you could just go to something like Namecheap, which I use. I'll leave a link in the bottom. So when I use Namecheap, you could just get a domain that's probably about 14 bucks a year, and then set it up. Point your DNS server to your email client or to your hosting, and then that's when you could go into HostGator or SiteGround or any other email provider and just start setting up unique email addresses. So for my employees, I always have like an info, a support, a sales, and for my upper staff, we always create something like myself, Ron, and then my other staff, Diana, at xyz.com or youremail.com. So guys and girls, if you like this video, please comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.